Look at the stars, look how they shine for you, and everything you do. Yeah, they were all yellow. I came along, I wrote a song for you, and all the things you do. It was called Yellow. So then I took my turn. Oh, what a thing to have done. And it was all yellow. Your skin and bones turn into something beautiful. You know I love you so. You know I love you so. I swam across, I jumped across for you. Oh, what a thing to do. 'Cause you were all yellow. I drew a line for you. Oh, what a thing to do. It was all yellow. Your skin and bones turn into something beautiful. You know I bleed myself dry. You know I bleed myself dry. It's true. Look how they shine for you. Look how they shine for you. Look how they shine. Look at the stars. Look how they shine for you, and all the things that you do.
Good afternoon and welcome. My name is Hamid, and I'm honored to be standing in front of you with my sister Helen, brothers Hamed and Human, to remember and celebrate the life of our mother, Iran. Some of you may know her as May. We speak with love about a woman who has touched our lives in so many ways. It is an important day when we see all of you, family, friends, collectively gathered here to bear witness her life and times amongst us to reflect on our hope, our wonder, and our collected grief. On behalf of my family, I'd like to thank you for being here during this important moment. We are most grateful for your attendance in this circle of love and support for our beloved mother. Thank you.
دوستان عزیز، الله حافظ. ضمن قدردانی از تشریف فرمایی شما عزیزان از طرف خود و خانواده رفیعی و یلدایی تشکر و سپاس فراوان که ما را با قدومتان سرافراز فرمودیم. اکنون برای شادی روان و شادی روانش مشاوران علیه به دعا و مناجات می‌پردازیم. تشکر.
I'd like to read a letter that was received by the National Spiritual Assembly referencing the Universal House of Justice's response to the passing of my grandmother. Dearest Baha'i friend, the National Spiritual Assembly today received via email transmission from the Baha'i World Center a message from the Universal House of Justice conveying its condolences on the passing of your beloved wife, Iran Yaldaii Rafiee. We are pleased to forward this message to you, the text of which is as follows. The Universal House of Justice regretted to learn from your email letter dated 18th of July 2018 of the passing of Iran Yaldaii Rafiee, a member of your community while on a visit to Iran. Kindly convey to her husband, children, and other family members the heartfelt sympathy of the House of Justice for the loss they have all sustained, and assure them of its supplications at the sacred threshold for the progress of her soul throughout the realms above. Prayers will also be offered that through the loving grace of the Blessed Beauty, they may be comforted and their hearts solaced at this difficult time. We felt certain these tender and appreciative words from the supreme institution of the Baha'i world would please you and bring a measure of solace to your heart. Kindly convey these same sentiments to your cherished daughter Helen and sons Hamid, Hamid, and Human, and to all other members of your family, and to your dear wife's friends and admirers. With our deepest sympathies, Kenneth E. Bowers, Secretary of the National Spiritual Assembly of the Baha'is of the United States.
والله تعالى پروردگارم آمرزگارم نفس نفیسی به ملکوت شهود سود نمود از خاکدان فانی به جهان جاودانی شتافت مهمان جدیدم است عزیز فرمان بنده قدیم از خلعت بدیعتا کن ای بی نیاز بیامرز و بنواز و به خلوتگاه راز راه ده و در محفل تجلی همدم و همساز نما تویی دهنده و بخشنده و مهربان و تویی آمرزنده و نوازنده و توانا
پاک یزدانا کل گنهکاریم و تو آمرزگار
جمی جامع عیوبیم و تو کاشف کروب گناهی آسیان را در لوح محفوظ ثبت مفرما مورق منشور کن نزار استخواب و استعداد ما مفرمام آنچه شایان آستان رحمانیت است معامله فرما غفران صفت جلیل است و از اعظم نعوذ آن خداوند مجید پس گناه این بیچارگان را بمال و از قصور ناسیان درگذار ذنب این اعظم الذنوب و گناه بی پناه بزرگتر از کوه پرشکوه اول قصور این بی سر و سامان را بگاه پس گناه هر عاصی نادان تویی بخشنده و مهربان و تویی آمرزنده و مستعان
And through reflection and discernment, long to attain thy presence and enter thy realms. With tearful eyes, she fixed her eyes on the kingdom of mysteries. Many a night she spent in deep communion with thee, and many a day she lived in intimate remembrance of thee. At every morn she was mindful of thee, and at every eve she centered her thoughts upon thee. Like unto a singing nightingale, she chanted thy sacred verses, and like unto a mirror she sought to reflect thy light. O thou forgiver of sins, open thou the way for this awakened soul to enter thy kingdom, and enable this bird, trained by thy hand, to soar in the eternal rose garden. She is afire with longing to draw nigh unto thee. Enable her to attain thy presence. She is distraught and distressed in separation from thee. Cause her to be admitted into thy heavenly mansion. Forgive her sins and bless her with thine abundant grace. Grant her the privilege of beholding thy countenance, and give her the chalice of joy and bliss. Thou art the giver, the glorious, the eternal, the bounteous, and thou art the all-gracious, the all-merciful, the omnipotent, he who is the bestower of gifts and the forgiver of sins.
And now, concerning thy question regarding the soul of man and its survival after death, know thou of a truth that the soul, after its separation from the body, will continue to progress until it attaineth the presence of God in a state and condition which neither the revelation of ages and centuries nor the changes and chances of this world can alter. It will endure as long as the kingdom of God, his sovereignty, his dominion, and power will endure. It will manifest the signs of God and his attributes, and will reveal his loving kindness and bounty. The movement of my pen is stilled when it attempteth to befittingly describe the loftiness and glory of so exalted a station. The honor with which the hand of mercy will invest the soul is such as no tongue can adequately reveal, nor any other earthly agency describe. Blessed is the soul which at the hour of its separation from the body is sanctified from the vain imaginings of the peoples of the world. Such a soul liveth and moveth in accordance with the will of the Creator, and entereth the all-highest paradise. The maids of heaven, inmates of the loftiest mansions, will circle around it, and the prophets of God and his chosen ones will seek its companionship. With them that soul will freely converse, and will recount unto them that which it hath been made to endure in the path of God, the Lord of all worlds. If any man be told that which hath been ordained for such a soul in the worlds of God, the Lord of the throne on high and of earth below, his whole being will instantly blaze out in his great longing to attain that most exalted, that sanctified and resplendent station. The nature of the soul after death can never be described, nor is it meet and permissible to reveal the whole character to the eyes of men.
درود به خدمت دوستان عزیز و یاران گرامی. I'm sorry, this is a urology incursion, and then my brother will say it in English afterwards. من دختر خانم رفیعی هستم. هلن. با عرض ادب شرح حال مختصری از زندگی مادر عزیزم را براتون عرض میکنم. خانم ایران یلدایی رفیعی متولد شهر شیراز در سال 1937. دوران صباوت و نوجوانی و جوانی خود را در این شهر مقدس گذراندند و به دیانت بهایی در این شهر ایمان آوردند. ازدواجشان در سن 16 سالگی با جناب آقای تعاظ‌الله رفیعی و حاصل این ازدواج 4 فرزند، 1 دختر و 3 پسر می باشد و همگان با فامیلشان خادم به نوع بشر هستند. مامان جان در حیات خود در نقاط مختلف دنیا عضو محفل روحانی و هیئت‌های تبلیغی بودند و همیشه بدون حرص و واهمه حاضر به نشر نفحات الله بودند. عاشق تعالیم حضرت بهاءالله و ایران. این ایمان ایشان بود که در زندگی بهشون قدرت، استقامت و در مقابل مشکلات با استوایی و قوی بودن روبرو شدند. راستگویی را پیش بینی کردند و شجاع بودند، سرور و پشتکاری عظیمی داشتند. در بعد از انقلاب ایران در سال 1979 میلادی مرتباً دستگیر و به بازجویی کشانده شدند و مورد اذیت و آزار قرار گرفتند. تا اینکه مجبور به ترک ایران شده و به دبی مهاجرت کردند. بعد از 3 سال در سال 1983 با خانواده عازم آمریکا و در فلوریدا مقر جستند. در اینجا بود که کار دائمی مشغول شدند و پشتکاری فراوان و با یاری احبای فلوریدا سالن آرایشگاه خود را افتتاح کردند. مادرم در همه امر و هنری ید بیضایی داشته و به هنر نقاشی و شعر گفتن علاقه فراوان داشتند. عاشق معاشرت با دوستان و یاران بوده و در همه انجمنی شیرین سخن و خوش کلام و همیشه باعث سرور و شادمانی دوستان و فرزندان خود بودند. و در ضمن بهترین را برای همه می‌خواستند و عقیده‌هاشان را بدون سیاست اعلام می‌کردند. ایشان می‌گفتند که همیشه ما به بهاءالله ایمان داریم و باید باعث افتخار این دیانت شویم. وی در زمان حیات 2 مرتبه به زیارت ارض اقدس مشرف شدند و در این سفر آخر به زیارت خانه حضرت بهاءالله در ادرنه که آرزوی دیرینه‌شان بود شرکت کردند. همیشه با من درد دل می‌کردند که کاش می‌شد در ایران این جهان خاکی را ترک کنم که این هم نصیبشون شد. مادر عزیزم در چهارشنبه ته جون در شهر مقدس شیراز جانشینی خود را از دست داده و در آنجا به خاک سپرده شد. بدین وسیله به همه بازماندگان متساعد الله به خصوص به پدر عزیزم و آقای علی اصغر یلدایی برادر ایشان که این سفر آخر به ملاقات ایشان رفته بودند و برادران گرامی حمید، حامد و هومن با خانوادهشان و نقل نتیجه هایشان تسلیت فراوان عرض می‌کنم. روح و روانشان شاد باد.
Dear friends, I love God, Muhammad, and I wanted to say some info on my mom's lifetime. Me and my brother will share her life story with you guys. Our mother, Maman, Mrs. Yaldaii, was born in the city of Shiraz, Iran on March 22, 1937. She loved the city of Shiraz, the cradle of our faith, the city of famous poets and beautiful gardens, renowned as city of flowers and nightingales. Her life took a full circle when, after moving out of that country and residing in the US for over 35 years, she traveled back home to visit family and friends, and suddenly passed away as a result of a heart failure at early hours of Wednesday, July 18th. She's survived by her husband, Tarazullah, children Hamid, Helen, Hamid, and Human, grandchildren, Laura and Kamran, Ariana and Keon, Anissa and Arman, Naveed and Mia. And had a great grandchildren, Leon and Quinn. She was young when she moved, when she got married. She was to my father at the age of 16 in Shiraz. Soon after we became a mother, soon after that she became a mother and Hamid was born. At that time it was very customary in Iran to get married at a young age, so that's how it was. At her young age, she was very troubled in Iran by the society and the way the women were treated. She always talked about that. So she wanted to have equality between men and women, and this was her strong feeling in that society. She detested being spoken down to and not have the same respect as men. Around the time she got married, the political movement in Iran took to more of a liberal movement. The Islamic oppression and Islamic fanaticism turned into a more liberal society. So she took that advantage with the love of Baha'u'llah in her heart. She decided that she wants to be a contributor to the society. So at the young age, she worked very hard. She got nursing training and she got a job at the hospital. She worked with the doctors and she was able to provide for the family at the young age. Soon after, she said she learned how to be an operator in the hospital, in the telephone room. So she learned the telephone system and got a job there. So as she was working, she said, at nights I'm free, so I need to get another job. So she decided to learn cosmetology. She learned that trade. She learned how to be a beautician. She opened a room in her house and started doing having a hair salon and being a beautician. She opened her own cosmetology school. She taught a lot of girls in Iran how to be a beautician. So later on, when we moved to another bigger house, the whole second floor became a salon. And I remember at nights where the whole house, people would come and go upstairs. They loved to go to her beauty salon. Major performers in the music and cinema industry visited her salon in the city of Shiraz. So while she was doing 2 jobs and having children and had 4 children, she also wanted to finish her high school. So she took at night classes. She went to school. And I remember even at the young age, she studied with us to take her diploma. So despite working 2 full-time jobs, she did that. So in that society, still, she had to go around, she had to go from job to job, and then she detested being in the public transportation because she didn't want to wear the hijab. She didn't want to, so the men, she didn't like how she was treated in the taxis and the buses and things like that. So she said, forget that, I'm going to learn how to drive. So she was one of the early women, probably in Shiraz, who got her license, her driver license. She bought a car and she was able to drive around. But I remember when she would come home with a new car, we would be all so excited. And she would keep the car for a long time, and then that car would visit the body shop a lot. Even at later age, you see that here. I'm sure Human has some stories to tell you guys. So, as she got these jobs and she was she had a more comfortable life with my wife, with my father contributing, and he became a well-respected pharmacist in the social service department in Shiraz. They raised 4 children. Her mother, Fatima, played a big role in raising us. While she was working hard, my dad was working hard. They raised us, and we called her Bibi. She helped us so much, and my mom was always thankful to her. She always mentioned her, praised and thanked her, and was grateful for her help. We're certain that she's very happy now, that she's with her in the same place. I'm not sure, but I think she's pretty much very close to her in the cemetery in Shiraz. Iran and Tarazullah worked hard, started to have a more comfortable life. As time passed, children grew up learning and serving the Baha'i faith. She always told us that the most important thing in life are 1, to be devoted and rely on Baha'u'llah and all we do, and 2, educate ourselves and to learn a trade, because that will take you places. Armed with these, she said, we will overcome every problem that comes our way. It was these beliefs and guiding principles that helped her overcome the setbacks and challenges she experienced later in her life, when she was forced to leave Iran. The kids grew up. Hamid finished high school in Iran, and he wanted to go educate himself, continue his education abroad. He wanted to come to the United States. My mom accommodated, my mom and dad accommodated for that. And in 1974, he moved out of Iran to the United States for college education. Helen took a nursing at college in Shiraz and got her diploma. And one day, it was in 1978 when I was in the 11th grade. She came home after I was just beginning to start summer, have fun. She told me, Ahmed, you better start packing up. Like, what? She goes, you're going to the United States. I was 11th grade, I hadn't finished my high school. She says, you're going to be with your brother. And I resisted, but resistance with her. She said that it's their intuition that things are going bad in Iran, and you need to leave. As she was working in the telephone operating room in the Namazi hospital, she was hearing things. She had things going on in the circles, talking about the government being overthrown and things like that. So in a matter of 2 months, she wrote to my brother, got my visa, forced me to go to the embassy. I was probably one of the last people in Shiraz to go to the embassy to get a visa. So she took care of my exit papers in the span of 2 months. And in the summer of 1978, at the end of summer, I left my hometown, Shiraz, for US. And I've had a very successful life here, thanks to her, and thanks for the society that's provided here. So it turned out that her intuition was correct. In 3 months after I left, the revolution happened. Colleges and universities were closed. Baha'i children were not allowed to go to college or university. They were being persecuted. The country which she was so hopeful for, and the culture she was enjoying and loved, regressed for 100 years, at least. So this was a big setback for her. It was a society that she was very hopeful for, and she fought to be part of and contribute to. So she had to wear her job again, and she lost her job at the hospital. She had to abandon her business and she had to protect her family and take refuge from the house she has built. Then the bombs started attacking the Baha'i homes and burning their houses. Amongst all this, she still taught the faith. She still spoke about the faith. She was called upon in the court several times, and they asked her to stop having Baha'i feasts, stop talking about the faith. She said, people are asking, I have to tell them. Tell them not to ask. Because people were still curious about it. She faced the authorities fearlessly and with pride. She would tell them, maybe you will stop me and a few other Baha'is, but the work of Baha'u'llah will continue uninterrupted. I'm going to have my brother continue.
Sorry that this has become a long one, but it's worth it. There's a lot of good things in here. Thank you. 2 summers after the Iranian Revolution in 1980, my mother with her husband, Tarazullah, Helen and Huma, traveled to Dubai. They did not mean to leave permanently. They were there for a family visit, because we have family in Dubai, both from my mother and father's side. It was during this visit that the Iran-Iraq broke out. If you all remember, there was some war, and all the airports in Iran were closed. They could not go back, at least for a while. And my relatives also advised that they should not go back. This was the beginning of her new life outside of Iran. She left everything. And took on new challenges. Once in Dubai, she sent Helen to the US, and later decided to follow with Huma and her husband, Tarazullah. They arrived in the US at the summer of 1982. Soon after, the news followed that her sister-in-law, Nusrat Yaldaii, and her son, Bahram Yaldaii, were arrested in Shiraz because they were Baha'is and executed. They were amongst the 16 martyrs of Shiraz, 16 people that were killed because they were Baha'is. Within a short period after that, her mother, Bibi, passed away as well. So all of this coming together, she was just devastated and felt sorry that she could not be there with them, with her mother, her sister-in-law and nephew during these ordeals. But she did not give up. She put all her affairs in the hand of God, and with one purpose in mind, which was serving her faith, Baha'u'llah, started a new life in the US. Her life started in the Midwest, in Iowa, Huma's favorite place. They went there because she wanted to be close to Helen. The Baha'is welcomed her, and her family helped her to assimilate into the new society and culture. She was always thankful to one particular lady there. And it is just right to mention her name, Mrs. McIntyre, a prominent Baha'i in Marshalltown, that helped her to get her beauty license in the US. That meant a lot to her. This was a major stepping stone that helped her rebuild her career here and start over. At the same time, she continued her contribution to the faith, visited Native Americans in South Dakota, where Hamid was living, and brought joy through chanting Persian prayers. They loved that. She had a great voice. She visited myself and my children several times, enjoyed her time with them. She loved communicating. We visited her here when she moved, but she loved communicating. And you can tell that from her social media postings. Have you noticed? And she believed that communication and interaction with different people and cultures is most essential to bringing the world together. She learned the English language and to this day used broken English to eventually make her point when needed. She and her family later settled in Florida, where the weather was best suited for her and for them. She opened her own cosmetology business, established residence in Florida. All of her children, with the exception of myself, who had residence in Connecticut, moved to Florida and stayed here since. She enjoyed life and served the faith in Palm Beach and Broward communities. She occupied her life with Baha'i activities, family, and she worked hard. In her spare time, she did some drawings, paintings actually, I should say, and also had a good talent in poetry. She attended Persian cultural meetings and picnics and was well known amongst the members, in the literary members of the Persian language. In groups of Persians, she always played mushaire. Iranian friends know what that is. Where you would have marathon of reciting poetry. Friends always appreciated her poetry, knowledge of the Persian culture and history. While in America, she went twice to Haifa for pilgrimage and also traveled to Iran twice. Her first visit was 15 years ago, accompanied by her husband. She was happy to be able to go there. 2 months ago, she heard that her older brother was very sick. She decided to visit him alone because she was concerned that she will not see him again. My father could not go because of her health condition. She planned her travels very meticulously. She arranged to attend her niece's daughter's wedding in Spain. She visited a friend of hers in Turkey, a beloved friend that she has known for a long time, and made pilgrimage to the house of Baha'u'llah in Adrianople, Aderna. She went to Iran and visited her ailing brother. In the last video of her, we see her dancing happily with him to a Persian song. We have a recent picture of her visiting the Baha'i cemetery in Shiraz, just 2 weeks ago, in Shiraz, where her mother is put to rest. The picture shows how joyful and happy she was. While there, she had made a comment to my aunt. Do you think God will give me the privilege of ending up in this place? Next day, she asked to be taken to the city of Neiris, city where her mother was born and her family came from. She visited friends and distant relatives there. My aunt says that she could not stop talking about the faith to relatives and friends. She turned her cell phone off and did not want to be bothered while she was there. Now we know why we could not contact her during those days. The day she returned from Neiris, it was late at night when she complained about chest pain. Once in serious, she was taken to the Shivas hospital, the heart center. She was diagnosed with artery blockage and was told that she must have open heart surgery. She was cleared for surgery but had a massive heart attack on the surgery bed prior to operation. Her news of passing got to us Wednesday morning, US time, and shocked the whole family. Although we will miss her and heartbroken by her passing, but we know that she has settled in a tranquil and joyful place, and we are happy with that. This is exactly what she wanted. We are proud of her legacy, and we hope to carry it forward in our lives. She lived a hard and fruitful life. Considering the hardship that she had endured, not once did she waver. Her faith in Baha'u'llah was never shaken, and she always challenged the norm. She believed in perpetual change. She never stayed still. Always worked hard to serve the faith and at the same time improve her and her family's life. She prayed and meditated every day, but she did not think that prayer alone is enough. She lived the Baha'i life to the fullest and let her actions, not words, to be her adorning. May Baha'u'llah bless her soul. My mother wanted us to talk about her, not for what she did, yet so much of what she did is a reflection of who she was. A woman of many talents and interests, of intellect and activity. Thank you.
Everybody knows that my mom loved writing poems. This was one of her talents. She used to get up in the middle of the night and just words would just stream, and she would sit down and real fast write them down. So the poems are in Persian, and I'm going to read it in that language, and my brother will translate it. Just give us translation of the meaning of this poem. گل عشق. به دلم عشق تو دارم، ز دلم دست مدار. در روضه قلبم به جز از عشق مکار. دل به من گفت چه دارم که به پایش ریزم. گفتمش هر چه داری بنما با ایثار. آبیاریش کن با دل و جان عاشقوار. سر به راهش بدهم مجنون بار. ناگهان عشق به پیش آمد با مهر و وفا. گفت عاشق که شدی نهال امید به کار. پس گل عشق و امید عیسی همه با هم بدرخشند درون دل تو عاشق بار. حال در وادی قلبم سبدی گل دارم که ثمر داده و ناگه شده ام عاشق زار. قدرت عشق بود مصدر معنی و مدار. عاشق از بحر طلب جان بنماید ایثار. ناگه آن بلبل عاشق به میان آمد و گفت ای طبیب دل بیمار من آیم به چه کار. عشق من نغمه سرایی است چه سود. کی منم واله و شیدا که روم بر سر دار. لایق عاشقیم کن که شوم عاشق زار. در گلستان وجودم گل معنا تو بکار. سالها در طلب نوح سرایی گردم، نغمه و نوح سرایی که نگردد ایثار. دل بگفتا تو از کار خودت دست مدار، عاشقی کن در گل خانه، عاشقی کن در گل خانه دل باز گذار، عاشقی کن در گل خانه دل باز گذار. بلبلان در طلب یار به پرواز شدند، نوحه را نغمه نموده به سرودند به یار. توتی و بلبل و قمری و قناری، همه جا نغمه سر داده و آماده به کار. پر عشاق به پرواز هما اوج گرفت، چون عقابی که پا خواسته از بحر شکار. نغمه خوان گشته به هر کوه دیار، بهر خدمت دل و جان را بنمودند به کار. بلبلان را که شنیدند ندای دلدار، همه پرواز نمودند به دشت و کوهسار. سازها ساز نمودند، صدا سر دادند، که بهار آمده گل خنده کنان در گلزار. وعده عشق دهد عطر دلانگیز بهار، به سر و روی بریزند همه عاشقوار. گل شامدی بنشانید به جای غم و درد، در دل مردم بیچاره این شهر و دیار. شب یلداست که پیغام دهد فصل بهار، در روضه قلب جز گل عشق مکار. 25 فوریه 2013.
So, you can tell my brothers and sisters and everybody else is all prepared. But this is the normal. Human just comes up and does what he feels. Sometimes good, sometimes not. But I have the bounty and privilege of sharing with you purpose of the Baha'i faith, because she would want that. I know my mother every moment, every place, even at her work. I would walk into her work and she's cutting somebody's hair and she's telling them about Baha'u'llah, about the Baha'i faith, and she wouldn't have it any other way. And I would tell her, Mom, this is a place of work. She goes, you know where I come from and where I've been. So she would be teaching the faith. So I wanted to tell you guys a little bit about the Baha'i faith and the purpose of life. The quote that we read today, that was read by Donna very beautifully, talks about the Baha'i feel of what Baha'u'llah and what the Baha'i faith says about life after death and what happens. Death is just a loss of the physical body. It's the soul that matters. It's the soul is the reason why we are here. And our purpose in living is to have that soul grow and become closer to God, right? Closeness to God is what some of us refer to heaven. And being far from God is what some people refer to hell. But we never are abandoned by God. We are never left alone by God. No matter what, that rope, we always say Baha'u'llah's got that rope hanging. So when you're sinking, that rope is there for you to grab, and he will pull you right up. And that's what my mother portrayed. Baha'is believe in the oneness of mankind. Religion must be the cause of unity, the abandonment of all forms of prejudice. As we look around this room, my mother's family, friends, and we see different cultures, different people. We're all here in this room celebrating her life. Why can't we take this to our neighborhoods and to our families and to our friends and show. She definitely believed in the equality of men and women. These are Baha'i teachings. Men and women symbolize the wing of a bird. You guys noticed, ever seen a bird with a broken wing? Cannot fly. But men and women equally are the cause of flight of humanity. And that's the only way. We were sore. And she portrayed that. And she wanted that. And I saw all my life. You guys cried, I can do too. No. I know. Thank you. Elimination of extremes of poverty. As you listen to these principles, you can see how these principles can bring about unity of mankind, which is the main purpose of the Baha'i faith. Realization that every human being on this planet, no matter how wealthy or poor, has the right to be educated, has the right to know. The responsibility of each person to independently investigate the truth in their own hearts. You know, currently in the Baha'i faith, the Universal House of Justice talks about a humble posture of learning. And I always ask those that I talk to, Baha'is, youth, what do you think that means? Humble, how does that look? What does that look to you? That humble posture of learning is listening. That humble posture of learning is not to judge. That humble posture of learning is to sit in groups and learn from each other and letting go of our own opinions. And also reading by yourself, not listening to others preach or tell you what you need to be or how you need to be. The the harmony of science and religion. Science and religion must coincide. Science and religion must work together in harmony. And we see how that will better our society. And the common foundation of all religions is to love God and to love each other and love humanity. There's no religion that says you should hate. I don't care how we want to look at it. We all must love each other and we must care for each other. And that's what Baha'u'llah brings. And that's what Baha'u'llah teaches us. And that's what my mother portrayed all her life. And as far as life after death, if you follow that rule in your life, if you follow those principles and you live it in a humble posture of learning, then your soul will be close to God. Your soul will be close to the blessed beauty, the promised one, Baha'u'llah. That's it. That's the Baha'i faith. That's the purpose of life. Thank you.
In the garden of thy heart plant naught but the rose of love, and from the nightingale of affection and desire loosen not thy hold. Treasure the companionship of the righteous, and eschew all fellowship with the ungodly.
All things above all things. Say God sufficeth all things above all things. within me, oh my hope, through the Spirit of power, confirm thou me in thy cause, oh my best beloved. Oh, my best beloved. And by the light of thy glory, reveal unto me thy path. Oh, thou, the goal of my desire, through the power of thy transcendent might, lift me up unto the heaven of thy holiness. Oh, thou source of my being, and by the breezes of thine eternity, guided me. Oh, thou who art my God, let thine everlasting melodies breathe tranquility on me. Oh, thou my companion, and let the riches of thine ancient countenance deliver me from all except thee. Oh, my master, and let the tidings of the revelation of thine incorruptible essence bring me joy. Oh, thou who art the most manifest of the manifest, and the most hidden of the hidden.
Oh mi Dios, oh tu perdonador de los pecados, el que confiere los dones, el que disipa las aflicciones. Verdaderamente te suplico que perdones los pecados de quienes han abandonado su vestidura física y han extendido al mundo espiritual. Oh mi Señor, purifícalo de sus transgresiones, disipa sus tristezas y cambia su oscuridad en luz. Haz que entren en el jardín de la felicidad. Límpialos con el agua más pura y concédele que puedan contemplar tus resplandores sobre el monte más sublime. Atuma.
O Lord, O thou whose mercy hath encompassed all, whose forgiveness is transcendent, whose bounty is sublime, whose pardon and generosity are all embracing, and the lights of whose forgiveness are diffused throughout the world. O Lord of glory, I entreat thee fervently and tearfully to cast upon thy handmaid, who hath ascended unto thee, the glances of the eye of thy mercy. Robe her in the mantle of thy grace, bright with the ornaments of the celestial paradise, and sheltering her beneath the tree of thy oneness, illumine her face with the lights of thy mercy and compassion. Bestow upon thy heavenly handmaiden, O my God, the holy fragrances born of the spirit of thy forgiveness. Cause her to dwell in a blissful abode. Heal her griefs with the balm of thy reunion, and in accordance with thy will, grant her admission to thy holy paradise. Let the angels of thy loving kindness descend successively upon her and shelter her beneath thy blessed tree. Thou art verily the ever forgiving, the most generous, the all bountiful.
The supermarket flowers from the windowsill, poured the day-old tea from the cup, packed up the photo album that you had made, memories of a life that's been loved. Took the get-well-soon cards and stuffed animals, poured the cold cup of tea down the sink. Dad always said, don't you cry when you're down, but there's a tear every time that I blink. Oh, one says it's tearing me up, and I know a heart that's broke is a heart that's been loved, so I'll sing hallelujah. You are an angel in the shape of my mom. When I fell down, you'd be there holding me up. Spread your wings, and I know that when God takes you back, he'll say hallelujah, you're home. Fluff the pillows, made the bed, stacked the chairs up, folded your nightgowns neatly in a case. You said you'd drive, then put your hand on my cheek and wiped a tear from the side of my face. And I hope that I see the world as you did. A life with love is a life that's been lived, so I'll say hallelujah. You were an angel in the shape of my mom. When I fell down, you'd be there holding me up. Spread your wings, and I know that when God takes you back, he'll say hallelujah, you're home.
خدایا خسته‌ام از کار دنیا، ببر من را به شهر عشق و رویا، به آن جایی که عاشق محو یار است، نه آن جایی که مانند شکار است. دریغا عاشقان در سوز و آمد، دریغا ناجوان مردان مرا. نباشد یک دل غمگین و ریشی، نباشد صحبت از زهری و نیشی، نباشد قصه گرگی و میشی، و یاور باشی و سردار پیشی. دریغا عاشقان در سوز پریشانم یه فردایی ندارم در این دنیا به غیر از تو که غمخواری ندارم که مجنونم پریشانم یه فردایی ندارم در این دنیا به غیر از تو که غمخواری ندارم که غمخواری ندارم ندارم در این دنیا به غیر از تو که غمخواری ندارم که مجنونم پریشانم یه فردایی ندارم در این دنیا به غیر از تو که غمخواری ندارم غمخواری ندارم که غمخواری ندارم